everyone, and welcome back to Muinteoirvalerie.com. I'm sharing this video today because as of last Thursday the schools have closed here, and we are now looking at parents teaching their children at home. Some teachers using virtual classrooms, Google Classroom, online learning, virtual learning, whatever you may call it. Now, this isn't the case for all schools. Some schools aren't doing that. I personally can't do that because I have 6 little boys in my classroom with ASD, and they range from the age of 5 to 7. So for my classroom, a virtual setup wouldn't work. So I'm going to just go through some ideas here which I think might be helpful for parents of children with ASD. And hopefully, if I get the time, I hope to do a video a day to address various issues which I think may crop up over the next few weeks. So first of all, if you have a child with ASD in a class attached to a mainstream school, or in a special school, or in a mainstream classroom, you would, I hope, have a close working relationship with the teacher and SNAs, so that you kind of have a very good idea of what your child would get up to at each stage in the school day. So for example, you should, through homework or pictures of what the children are doing in school, have a good idea of what level of work your child is doing, what they're able for. And obviously, like, I learn so much from my parents of the kids in my class. Sometimes they're teaching me about their children while I'm teaching their children, if that makes sense, because no one knows a child better than their parent. No matter how many courses you do, no matter how qualified you are, a parent does know their child best. So the main thing is, don't overload your child at this time, because when I think of the kids in my class, they do like routine and structure, and that's gone out the window now for them. So that's one thing they need to deal with already. So when your children have settled and they're regulated and calm, I would suggest having a timetable, visual timetable at home to use throughout the day. Again, there's no one size fits all. Your child might do 10 minutes a day, your child might do 2 hours a day. Whatever it is, make sure it is evenly spread out, it is structured, consistent, and has a reinforcer at the end of each task. Now, every child can do something. Your child's activity might be to complete a 4-piece jigsaw with hand over hand. It might be hanging up their coat hand over hand on the hook. It might be pointing to the fridge and successfully taking out milk. Whatever your child's targets are, you should have their IEP. Look at your IEP, look at your child's targets, and say, okay, we're going to work on these targets now. If your children were sent home packs, learning packs and resources, try work on these. So, for example, it'd be really helpful if you knew your child's routine at school. So in my classroom, we play in the morning for half an hour, then we do some outdoor play, and then we sit down and do our phonics. So most schools use Jolly Phonics, and there are loads of Jolly Phonics videos on YouTube. There are Jolly Phonic apps. So just keep revising whatever letter sounds your children have done in class. Then practice tracing the sound, practice making the letter formation in the air, practice it in sand, shaving foam, flour, anything you have at home that will make it more real life, more texture based. Then if your child is at the stage where they're able to write, or they're pre-writing, I would sit down and do some pre-writing skills, get them to write their name, keep getting them to write their name, whatever work like that they're doing. Then I would suggest working on numbers. So this could be just watching number videos on YouTube, getting them to make the numbers, write the numbers, use maybe number magnets and number jigsaws, anything like that, just to keep practicing and reinforcing. It's all about just repetition. So keep doing the same things every day and build on it a little bit more each day if you can. Then when it comes to their individual work, which is what we do after break, say we'd take them to their desks and do their tasks. Here I would suggest to parents working on whatever targets the children may be doing with their speech and language therapists or their OTs, So keep up with that, obviously, if those appointments aren't going ahead. Also make sure your child gets some fine motor skill practice through threading, through pom-pom, picking up pom-poms with clothes pegs, jigsaws, all of that kind of stuff. And then some gross motor skills as well. I have a free resource with I think 40 gross motor skill activities on my blog, which you can download now free of charge. And then our final after lunch, then we would normally do sand play, water play, story time, or meditation. So try read a book to your story too. If you try read a book to your child too, if you can get them to sit down. Now I know this might be difficult at home because in school we use attention autism and it's really effective and we have all the toys. But you know, it can be difficult to get a child with ASD sometimes to sit for a story. So please don't feel under any pressure as well to get all this done. As I said, parents know their child the best, and whatever you see fit is what I would recommend. But if you are working from home with your child, I would just really stress the importance of structure, routine, consistency, as well as lots of play too, of course. So just have your visual timetable, as I said, for your child, and stick to the routine they were doing in school, and it might just make it a little bit easier for them to cope with this sudden change in their routine. If your teacher uses a reinforcer for your child, like it could be their favourite book, their favourite toy, an iPad, outdoor time, try use this at home as well, and use similar first and then boards or token economy boards, whatever it is your class teacher uses, so that there's consistency.